can hardly wait for the touch and to feel you, mama. Oh, I just can't keep away. In the heat and the steam of the city, I've got me running and I just can't breathe. So say you'll help me, mama, 'cause it's getting so hard. Oh, now I can keep you, mama. But I know you're always there. You listen, you teach me, mama, and I know inside you care. So get down here beside me. Oh, you ain't going nowhere.
do your song.
Okay,
Go on.
come with me, Matthew. Let's come on, I'll go and get you sorted out. Come on, let's walk
Thanks
this
very
way.
much,
Walk this way, Matthew.
It's nice to have a really top rock band like you on the show.
Of course.
Good morning to a friend of mine,
Nearly just about it, really. Happy Easter from all of us. Thanks very much. I must say, before you go... Sorry?
My friend Nick Judge getting married today.
Right, done him. That's done him.
Can I say hello to Sank from Dorley?
No, you can't.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
From all the Genesis fan club, I mean, an enormous number of people all over Europe, really, yeah. I don't know if you can see this. Happy Easter from all the Genesis fan clubs. Right,
Nice.
Fabulous.
That's very nice. I don't quite know what it is. But feel that.
Really nice.
Good grief! It's... Oh, no! I can't do... You're supposed to be the blackest feet in the cosmos. God, there are frightened people. There go the prize. There go the buckets of water. This is disgraceful. Week after week they do this to people. Top celebrities from show business in the world of pop come on this program. They end up covered in custard pies and buckets of water. This is the blackest people. This is the man of mystery in the mask. This is disgraceful. Genesis are covered from head to toe in custard pie. This really is appalling. I can't speak. You can't keep on speaking like this. Much luck with the custard pie. We'll see you next week. Have a nice Easter. Bye from all of us. Come on.
Turn
Scandalised down on Broadway. Cette chanson s'appelle Dans le cage. I got sunshine in my stomach. I just want my baby. I got sunshine in my stomach. Saludamos a todos los amigos de tocar.
Bueno, pues este saludo que acabáis de escuchar ha sido Phil Collins, intentando hablar en español, que lo ha hecho bastante bien. Y bueno, pues estamos aquí reunidos con ellos, estamos en Londres y bueno, estamos como un poco celebrando el que hayan sacado un nuevo álbum después de 2 años que llevamos todos esperando. Este álbum se llama Invisible Touch y queremos saber pues por qué han tardado tanto y qué es lo que han estado haciendo durante este tiempo. Following 2 years absent, you have just released a new album, Invisible Touch. What have you been doing and why did you wait for such a long time?
It seems to go, time goes very quickly. We've all been doing projects outside Genesis. But as a solo career, you might have heard about it. We've all been doing, I did a thing called Mike and the Mechanics. It's another band we got going. I think having been together with a band for such a long time, it's very important that we don't, we have some breaks and do, you know, don't just get locked into just one thing all the time. And we've all been very busy, so time goes very quickly.
Okay. Este nuevo álbum tiene 9 canciones que están compuestas por entre los tres. Queremos que nos hablen un poco de ellas. Your new album has 9 tracks and they are written by the 3 of you. Tell us a bit about them.
Well, the last album, the last Genesis album called Genesis, and this new one, we and some of Abacab as well, we did in a different way from the really early Genesis stuff. In as much as we we had no songs written. And I think that because we all do things on our own, we nowadays we tend to sort of keep our own songs that we've written for ourselves, and we find that the thing that's interesting about the band is that we write together, and it's a different kind of music from anything that we do individually. So we go into a studio, our studio, and really have nothing prepared, and we just go in there and keep playing until something happens. And that's why the songs are all credited with being written by the three of us, because we wrote together as a group. So everybody in the three of us are responsible for everything that we've done.
De este nuevo álbum han sacado un primer single que se llama Invisible Touch. Queremos saber si hay alguna razón en especial por la que lo han elegido. Is there any special reasons because of what you choose Invisible Touch as the first single?
Well, we thought it'd be a big hit. And in America it was a big hit. It got #1 in America, which is the first #1 single we've ever had anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, in Europe, but unfortunately, it didn't do very well in England, and I think that kind of, for an English group, Europe tends to follow England a little bit. And once it hadn't done very well in England, it tended not to do very well in Europe. Which is a pity, because it got a lot of airplay, and we can't complain about that, because it just obviously didn't have it. I heard it again the other day, the first time for a few weeks, and I'm very surprised it wasn't a bigger hit. But I've never been able to spot a single, so, I was wrong. So that was why it was the first thing. We just thought it was nice, we all liked it. The record company seemed to reckon that was the one. So we're going to try again now.
Sabemos que ellos están ensayando para esto, además van a comenzar una gira mundial y queremos que nos digan pues dónde van a ir, cuándo va a empezar, todo lo que nos pueda interesar. We know there's going to be a worldwide tour, and we want to know when it is going to start and when and everything. We want to know everything.
Well, yes, we are playing a worldwide tour which will start very, very soon, sooner than we think. We're going to America first, and then we'll be going to Australia and Japan, Australia and New Zealand, and then we're going back to America to play the places we don't play on the first tour, and then we play in Japan, and then we come to Europe, and then we play England. So it's spaced out over almost a year, month on, 5 weeks on, 3 weeks off. It's supposed to be month on and then a month off, but our manager likes us to get us to work. So he has seen fit in his infinite wisdom. No, we're actually playing quite a lot of dates, and it seems a long tour, but we're having breaks in between them. Whether we're coming to Spain or not is up in the air. I don't know where we're playing in Europe yet.
Bueno, ya para despedirnos, nos hemos guardado una sorpresita y Tony se va a despedir en español, así que nada más. Hasta luego.
Adiós, hasta pronto.
Who'd be
cabo en Madrid. Y para ello enviamos a una enviada muy especial, una compañera nuestra llamada Mercedes Venegas, para que charlara un rato con ellos.
Pues sí, hoy he tenido la gran suerte de poder hacer de corresponsal para A Tope con un importantísimo grupo extranjero. Tony, Mike, que no ha podido estar hoy aquí con nosotros, y Phil. Ellos son Genesis. Hola, buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a España.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Cuando trabajáis como grupo, en solitario, es cuando grabáis los discos. Sin embargo, a la hora de hacer una serie de giras, lo hacéis como trío. ¿Y esto por qué?
Well, we actually do tour on our own as well. So really, touring and recording as a group is no different from touring and recording on our own. But I think it's less regular when we do things on our own. I mean, I've gone out on tour with my solo records, and so has Mike. But they become more special one-off tours, as opposed to Genesis, which we've always toured whenever we've made a record. We've always gone out on tour to promote it.
¿Pensáis seguir mucho tiempo todavía como Genesis?
It's a very difficult question to answer this. We all, ever since we've begun, we've just kind of gone on very much on a day-to-day basis. You know, we certainly have every intention of coming back together and making an album after having had a period of time apart. I think in about must be about 2 years from now, say, we will come back and make a record. But, you know, anything can happen meanwhile, and you just don't know, really, but the intention at this point is to keep it going.
¿Cuál es la diferencia que existe entre vuestro trabajo por separado individualmente y vuestro trabajo como grupo?
Well, when you're working on your own, you're the dictator. You know, you can do whatever you want. And when you're in a group, obviously it's different, because the reason for being in a group is so that you bounce off ideas with different people. So the whole way you do things change. And really, both ways are good. It's interesting to get the chemistry with 3 people together and find they still work. You know, one person will suggest one thing and one other person will maybe change that idea a little bit or whatever. And the end result is something that's very interesting. So, and we also now just write together from nothing. We have no music written when we go into a studio. So that makes it even more interesting, the fact that the 3 of us can just write almost as one person would write. Good fun.
Todos vuestros vídeos tienen un importante componente de historias y de argumento. Sin embargo, cuando estáis en escena, todo esto desaparece. ¿No creéis que el público lo puede echar un poquito de menos?
I think we look at it the other way around, really. The stage show is much more important than the videos. The videos are just something that, you know, if you just go up and you just film a show, you just film a song and people playing it, it's not that interesting. So that's the idea of a video, is to make something rather more involved. You can tell a story maybe, or make it look a bit prettier and things. But for us, the show is a much more important thing. So I think it's more the other way around, that when people see videos, I think perhaps they tend to miss a little bit the excitement you can get from a live show. And really what you're trying to do with all this sort of the cleverness, if you like, is to substitute something for that sort of excitement you can get from a live performance.
¿Qué pensáis del público español? ¿Creéis que verdaderamente aprecia vuestra música?
Absolutely fantastic. It's
Fantastic.
no, I think that Latin countries tend